Either you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Now ain't that right, Khabib? Yes, you heard it. Our boy is facing some severe hate after his recent comments, which is what we'll talk about today. People are calling him out for a weak mindset. Fans are suggesting that Khabib is looking forward to a Dagestani fighting dynasty. Well, why not? It was his father's desire, and to fulfill that desire, Khabib definitely developed a strategy.
I have to be able to stay with this.
Gaethje has successfully thwarted the first takedown attempt at Nurmagomedov, who touches the...
Recently, the Eagle made an appearance in Eagle FC, his own promotion, where he discussed and expressed his views on each of his fellow Russian combatants. Some spectators shared their thoughts on how Islam Makhachev was perceived by Nurmagomedov as he defended his title. Khabib Nurmagomedov talked in depth about a few of his countrymen. The UFC legend's remarks drew many types of responses from the fans, but there was this specific thing that got a much more negative response.
Underway, this fight clock brought to you by Modelo with Bob McGregor and Green.
The shot out of Khabib with pressure. Leg over the back, ankle.
That was Nurmagomedov's plan for Makhachev. We all know that Islam looks up to Khabib, and that the Eagle literally paved the way for Makhachev to reach the top of the lightweight division. Yes, Islam did defeat Oliveira with his own hands, but you get the point.
Knockdown from Makhachev!
Becoming an undisputed lightweight champion is not everyone's cup of tea. Fans admired Khabib for sticking by Islam throughout, until recently when he stated that Islam needs at least 5 or 6 title defenses.
Oh, runs into another nice left hand.
And yes, he was serious when he said he's looking forward to the Dagestani dynasty, as was I. Anyway, Khabib wants Islam to go 3 years with 3 fights every year without losing his title. And after that, he believes Islam should stop competing because, hey, who can stay that good for that long?
Interesting to see who has the advantage when it comes to striking. And that was answered real quick.
As I said, his words carried their fair share of spark, and fans are triggered. It's not the first time he said something that has split the MMA fandom. Some of his followers believe that his strategy for Makhachev is clever, and if Islam Makhachev actually pulls that off and then quits, he'll go down in history as the greatest lightweight. But many have reacted angrily and criticized the former lightweight champion. Some say that Khabib himself fought once a year, while many are still mad that Khabib retired in his prime.
Wasn't knowing him. And, and just see, Brazilian.
But you know, the anger is sort of justified, as a large crowd is confused about whether Islam has ever truly triumphed for itself. Fans believe that already planning such things with fewer fights a year isn't a champion's mindset. One supporter in particular proposed that the current lightweight champion fight more often, and the number should definitely be 3 or more.
Khabib Nurmagomedov want Makhachev to pursue another takedown. There's a single leg shot.
But now, Drew Dober's...
Imagine right after this strategy plays out exactly as Khabib wants, Usman Nurmagomedov comes in like, let me introduce myself. Anyway, the spectators eagerly anticipate seeing how the lightweight division approaches the Dagestani.
So less than a minute in, Makhachev spoils the UFC return of Gleison Tebow.
In addition, it's exciting to see how it treats Makhachev in the future. While we're on the topic of fans, this one piece of news is going to be exciting as a fan approached Khabib for advice, and you won't guess for what thing.
You know MMA you 20 years with MMA. What do you think about I deserve title shot or no? Please tell these guys.
I think you definitely deserve it.
Masvidal slept with the guy's girlfriend. Well, now you know what to do if you experience this sort of tragedy. After being one of the best fighters to ever compete in the UFC,
It looks like he's dead. Khabib Nurmagomedov, the Eagle rises again.
he became a dope-ass advisor to current fighters, but he always had a knack for teaching.
4.5 years ago, and now it's like my brother become champion. It was like same feeling, you know. It's like broke.
And a well-known viral video demonstrates that he can also help with the unusual. So this fan approached Khabib, telling him about the event and how his girlfriend met the fighter in Miami. The clip also has quite a number of views, as it shows the fan being funny and asking Khabib for some advice on how to defeat UFC fighter Jorge Masvidal in a fight. Khabib was also smiling because the fan was one of the Nelk boys and told him he was too old to start training and he should get a dog in order to stand a chance against Masvidal.
I mean, a lot of people felt like Gaethje was a live underdog, the best guy that Khabib had faced.
But everywhere.
Anyway, back to more recent things. And even though Khabib has all of his plans for a dynasty, he apparently also retired as a coach. He wants to spend more time with his family now, and it totally makes sense.
Like a lot of stuff, but I'm a little bit scared about this. I don't want to change. I want to be same.
Everyone at some point in their lives needs a break, or maybe even a full stop, and Khabib is doing what seems right to him. Not too long ago, he took over his Instagram and announced the news that shocked his fans. He confirmed that he has retired as a coach so that he can spend more time with his family. But that's not all. Javier Mendez also talked about the matter. Mendez has trained Khabib in the past, and he has also worked as a coach at the American Kickboxing Academy.
I said 9 o'clock. Khabib changed it to another location. He could have changed the time.
The two are pretty close, and that's why he also explained the situation. According to Mendez, Khabib doesn't want to miss being a father. He also stated that the two talked about it a while ago, and Khabib had informed him of his plan.
The one thing I noticed over there, every single one of those guys was a stunner.
Mendez also stated that Khabib is doing this for the right reasons. After all,
can you imagine the fireworks and Khabib's one-liner tags? Tony's got them too. Tony's got the one-liners too. So
he's a family man and he wishes to be there for them. With that said, a question comes to mind. How can someone leave everything at its peak? If you remember, at the time Khabib left the UFC, he was literally at the top of his career. No one could imagine that this guy would say, "I'm out," all of a sudden. But well, he did what he had to. He had earned a submission victory against Justin Gaethje at UFC 254 in 2020.
Again, he chokes Justin Gaethje to sleep, 29-0.
And had also run his record to an amazing 29-0. Not to mention that this was his third successful defense of the lightweight title. And all of you already know that he was one of the best pound-for-pound fighters while he was still in the ring. All of this had convinced Mendez that Khabib would eventually make it big as a coach. In fact, while talking on the UFC Unfiltered podcast back in October, he said that Khabib has already made a major impression as a coach. He stated that as a coach, he's doing great. And with the fighters he has and everything that he's been doing, he's definitely on the right track to becoming the greatest coach of all time. But, well, nothing's really happening now since he's done with coaching too, except maybe his student wants to retire. Yes, Islam might also retire soon. For the longest time, Khabib and Islam have been best friends, and on top of that, they're also training partners. Now that Khabib is leaving, everyone is wondering what's next for Islam. Well, the problem is that not many fighters like Islam go on to continue the journey without their friend and mentor. Chael Sonnen, a former UFC champion, questioned if Islam will now consider an early retirement, following in the footsteps of his mentor, who did the same after his last fight. He also stated that he couldn't really see a scenario where Makhachev would get into a big fight without Khabib on his side. On his YouTube channel, Sonnen said that at this point, when we talk about a match, it's a game of inches. Factors such as who slept the night before, how close they were, and how they warmed up before the game. He described it as looking like a heck of a matzo ball that just sat down. According to him, when someone's mentor, trainer, or coach isn't there for them anymore, it actually is a very big deal. Well, we've got to wait to find out, right? Let's see what happens. See you in the next one.